Danny Parkins and Ryan, the inventor of the smart toaster, fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports. It's an honor and a privilege for week 2 of Nick's Tears.
All right. First of all, since you mentioned it, I wasn't going to say it, but I just want the audience. So, Danny had to resign as committee membership.
What happened?
Well, he got the job here.
Oh.
It'd be, you know what I mean?
his committee's
Conflict
here.
of interest and things like that. It has to be people, you know what I mean, outside
Got bad
of the
intel. He
FS1
wasn't there.
orbit. What? No, he was there. He
Was
there.
Ryan the inventor of the smart toaster there?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But luckily, he's back on his feet.
How's
He's
that
not
going?
staying on my couch anymore. Don't
Okay.
worry about that. Okay. Week 1 Tears in the books. Week 2 now. No teams relegated.
Wow.
And a team did jump from the bottom up a row. Find out who in a moment. But first, the bottom row, which is the Beck, Ewers, Moss, Ward, and Sanders row. Those are the 5 college quarterbacks that we could have back-to-back years of 5 first-round pick quarterbacks because I don't see how any of these franchises can not draft a quarterback next year. Every single one of them is going to feel like we have to get a quarterback, so those would be the most likely 5 first-rounders. Next row. Not bad. Shout out New England.
Yeah, well.
For they moved up after I thought they would be on the bottom the whole time. We saw some things from New England's defense. Jaden running the ball, and they did score 20 points. Denver, despite the fact that Bo Nix was just check down Charlie 40 times, you're on the road in Seattle, tough environment. You saw just a little bit. What were we watching? So this is the most interesting part of week 1, is we know what we see, we don't know why we're seeing it.
That's good.
So are the Saints just really good, or is Carolina unspeakably bad? Is Darnold finally the guy that Colin Cowherd has pined for 7 years? Or did Brian Dable and the Giants just come out totally not ready to play and have their energy sapped by Daniel Jones' performance? Is the Cards offense for real? Or is the Bills defense really bad? We don't know yet. And I'm not even being a smartass. Yeah. Week 1, we just have a slice of the pie. So I'm not sure what we were watching. But those teams could be moving up if it was the former, not the latter for each of them. Minimal margin for error. So all 3 of these teams lost games they had no business losing. And when you do that, whatever your season-long projection was, now you have to add a game to it. So if Cincinnati's like, all right, we're going to need to win 12 games to win this division. Okay, cool. Now you have to win 13 because you're supposed to win the Patriots game.
Yep.
That was one of them. If the Falcons or Jags were like, all right, we're going to need to go 11-6 to win our divisions. Okay, cool. Now you got to go 12-5. Because the Jags had that game won. The Falcons thought that was a game they were going to win, especially when all of a sudden Fields gets listed. So now your margin for error is just so much smaller. Off-season concerns confirmed. Every single one of my worries about both of these teams was confirmed in week 1. For the Eagles, is the offensive line going to miss Jason Kelce? Yep. Is the defense going to be a disaster for the second straight year? Sure looks like it. Is Jalen Hurts still going to struggle and turn the ball over, make head-scratching plays? Absolutely. To be fair, Saquon way overachieved what I expected. And for the Jets, I mean, are they going to have no offensive game plan? Is Robert Saleh going to have all year, all summer to prepare for going up against the guy who he used to work with and be like, you like to run the ball? Nobody told me that. Is Aaron Rodgers going to look a little statuesque in the pocket, not in a good way? Yes. Off-season concerns confirmed. You have our attention. Chargers, Steelers, Colts, Seahawks. For the Chargers, man, Jim Harbaugh really is going to run that damn ball 30 sometimes and just try to lean on you. The Steelers, TJ Watt, Mike Tomlin, Justin Fields not turning the ball over, got to pay attention. Anthony Richardson just throwing it straight out of the Terry Bradshaw playbook of, I might complete 45% of these passes, but they are all going to be bombs on your head. I'm just going to 9 for 18 for 250 yards on the board at any time and terrifying. And I say that with love and complimentary. And then Seattle, Geno looked sharp. The 12s were firing. Mike McDonald got that defense going. You have our attention. Costly week 1s. So this is what I mean. The Rams, You got left tackle on the IR for 4 weeks. Puka's on IR for 4 weeks. Steve Avila's on IR for 4 weeks. For Green Bay, obviously, Jordan Love is not on IR, but he's out. The Bucs, 4/5 of their secondary got hurt in one game. So and at least the Bucs at least got a win. The Packers and Rams did it in heartbreaking losses, and so just very, very costly from an injury standpoint. I still think they're all good teams, but that's brutal. Fun but flawed. The Bills are a little too Josh Allen reliant, pardon me. The Dolphins, I still need to know that you can beat good teams and in cold weather. The Bears, you do have a young quarterback, and we saw some of those flaws in week 1. And the Ravens, I think, have an identity crisis. I think these are 4 good teams. I think these are, at least 3 of them are playoff teams, but I think they are flawed teams. Perfectly positioned. Very good roster, good wins, and week 1 went well for you, particularly for Houston and Detroit. As far as if you're Houston, your biggest divisional competition, the Jags, had a heartbreaking loss. If you're the Lions, a lot of people think your biggest divisional competition is Green Bay. Their quarterback gets dinged. So you have great rosters. You all won week 1. You look good. And excellent running game. Excellent. Trent Williams looked great. Their weapons look great. It's hard to find anywhere they're not excellent. There's maybe one place I think they might not be excellent, but they're excellent almost everywhere. And then at the very top, unbothered, Kansas City Chiefs. How was everybody else this weekend? Like, how were the other, Greg, veteran quarterbacks? What was their, last few days like? Because we know Lamar, tried to do his Mike Allstott, and he ended up, I don't know if we can show it or not. We saw Lamar, there was a lot of that. Josh Allen, he decided he needed to go Superman mode, and now all of a sudden you see the wrap on his wrist. Yeah. Joe Burrow, Wild's on wristwatch with him because he's taking hits like that. What was Patrick doing over the weekend? Let's just see if we. Oh, that's nice. Just chilling. Hanging out in the U.S. Open, drinking some honey deuces with celebrities, watching some tennis. They stay atop the tiers. They're rested and ready. Greg Jennings, that is the week 2 tiers.
Nick?
Yeah.
This might be the worst.
Oh, I thought it was going to be complimentary.
I did too. The worst?
The worst.
What's the problem?
It starts.
I have your Texans high.
Yeah, you do. But it starts with the fun but flawed. And I'm going to point out the Chicago Bears.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like great defense?
No. Let me speak, please. Because I picked this team to make the playoffs, as you did. Well, you accelerated
the best record in the league.
But when you look at the way that they played on Sunday, how different is it than what the Steelers did? And you have the Steelers much lower than them. And the Steelers played a more formidable opponent in the Falcons.
We think.
Well, you have them on the tiers higher than Tennessee. Tennessee is considered the worst team as your tiers are projected right now.
There's no worst team. They're on the bottom row. They're one of
the Bears. What we saw with the Chicago Bears, you have to slowly progress them up. You can't start them this high.
I dropped them.
No,
they were higher. I had to drop them. You weren't here last week.
Oh, my goodness.
They were higher.
What are we really doing?
What do you mean? What are we doing?
Like, Caleb, look, I'm excited about what he has the potential to be. He's not there yet. Clearly, they need an identity crisis to be resolved on offense because he's not going to just roll out and just throw the ball 30, 40 times and be magical like we saw in the preseason. Eberflus, what he needs to check is what they're doing to support the young man and run the ball a little bit more, get more than 11 first downs, average more than 2.8 yards on offense. Like, do something more so that we can see more. But for right now, to have them fun but flawed, what's fun about them?
Well, their defense and special teams. Right. I mean, what do you mean?
Who watches?
And a block punt touchdown.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, raise your hand if you're on a team this week that scored on defense and on special teams.
Raise your hand.
That's only Chicago Bears hands up.
No, raise your hand if you watch the Chicago Bears to see defense and special teams.
Literally, that's the only reason anyone's watched them for 70 years. What are you talking about? So, monsters of the Midway. I mean, what do we mean?
This is terrible, man.
It's not terrible.
The Bears cannot be this high. On tiers.
All right. Well, it's not the standings, but they are tied for the best record in all of football. And I think the offense, if there's any offense you expect to get better, it's the one with the new offensive coordinator, a rookie star receiver, and a rookie quarterback. So, yeah, Give me a break.
Well done, Greg. I'm only going to focus on one team, but I'd be remiss, as I said yesterday, if I didn't mention the Eagles. Look, Jalen Hurts has to play better, but the funk is gone. Saquon Barkley was fantastic, so the Eagles should be up. Now, the team I'm focusing on, the Ravens, fun but flawed. The Ravens, Nick, I'm going to tell you exactly how high I want them. I want them right between the Chiefs and the Niners.
I buy that.
They are the second best team in football. I thought, and I meant to say this Friday, but I didn't. I thought we were watching on Thursday the two best teams in football. And then after seeing all the teams play this weekend, I feel stronger about that. They went into the Chiefs' house, and no, they did not kick up their feet.
No.
But they made a little noise. They caused a bit of a commotion. They were not easy guests in that house. They literally lost by an inch.